After a game-changing couple of years, including making history as the first Indigenous artist to win the JUNO Award for Alternative Album of the Year and coveted Songwriter of the Year, Aysanabee is back with a new record, Edge of the Earth, out June 20th. And again, more festival, more tour dates this summer. And Aysanabee, welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
I mean, last time you were here, I feel like we got a little scoop on the new track, and then it was always like, I can't.
Oh yeah, I was like hyperventilated a little bit and started sweating. I was like, oh, am I leaking myself right now? But no, it's I love this station, and we were actually driving, and on the way here we heard me on the way here, and we were like, I'm going there right now.
How does it feel to hear your songs on the radio?
Oh man, it hasn't lost its shine. It's not like it's not like, oh, there's me again. I'm still so grateful every time. So thank you.
Well, you had a little gathering for some industry folks yesterday, and you said something that really stuck in my mind, that you asked yourself the question, how much do I value art and how much would I sacrifice for it?
Yeah. And
I was wondering about at what point in the process were you asking yourself those pretty big questions?
I think for a lot of it, a lot of the record does kind of talk about shedding old self, and things ending, and yeah, you know what? Like it's this industry is a tough industry, and it is like when you leave a full-time job to do something, it is true that you leave the 9 to 5 to do the 24/7, and to really make it work, it does take like an extreme amount of dedication and because like I don't know, like I'm fortunate to have like a lovely team around me. Like I have my manager Jen and Ishkade, Shoshona, Amanda, Beth, like the staff, like all these incredible people, and I think that in mind like makes me work so much harder because like I have people who have my back, I want to have their back, and just I think part of it too is just being a role model. I think that I even the last time I went up to Sandy, and there's like all these, I got to meet some of the youth, and they're like super stoked that they're seeing like their last name in billboards and stuff, right? And so I always want to do right by them, and I think I kind of carry the weight of that a little bit in how I move forward and make sure I'm trying to like, work as hard as I can, but yeah.
I mean, that's a really, I guess, beautiful, also, I mean, hefty thing to carry, but also a very, wonderful thing to bring along with you in your process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask again, your new record saw you collaborate more than ever. I think this is our last interview where you were like, I can't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But there 9 tracks, 6 producers.
Yeah.
Your first record was all you, and again, telling, the story with your grandfather. So again, this is a real big change in process.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, because like I worked with a lot of different producers, but they're all people I've known and become friends with. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's like the special part. Like I remember being so nervous working with people and writing with people because it was always such like a very personal endeavor for myself. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, being able to work with these people like Derek Hoffman, Hilker Kudis, Lala Noel, Scott McCannell, Mark Kosher, Charlie McLean, like all people I've grown to be really close with. And I think you really hear that in the music when you kind of get that comfortable with people to like really open up, really be vulnerable, really have fun, really, push each other and to grow and experiment and challenge each other in ways that make sense. And yeah, like it's wild because yeah, there's so many different producers, but like it like the album itself is still so very cohesive. So yeah, grateful to be able to work with all these people and call them friends.
When you started the process, were you also on tour? Because I feel like your last 2 years have been real intense. Yeah.
And that's partly how like probably it was like so many different producers because like getting home and like I usually try and like be in studio or writing and so I'll just kind of like see who's around and yeah, so a lot of the songs were kind of like, I'd be home for a day or I'd be home for 2 days and I'd be like, hey, what's up? Do you want to jump in the studio? And we'd work and we'd write and it's very true. Like, you write a dozen songs, and then maybe one of them you really like. But yeah, I was on tour quite a bit and finding pockets, and yeah, all these songs are just kind of, yeah, written over the course of the last 3 years and kind of offer people a window into who I am as an artist and my story. Whereas, the first record was my grandfather. The second record was a breakup album. So it's like offers like a fans like a new window into myself.
Did you find your voice kind of changing when your songs are also changing in that kind of concept? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm nervous.
Are you more nervous to get this one out there?
Well, yeah. It's like, yeah. Like here's a look. Here's a inside look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they like it. But yeah.
Is it easier to tell somebody else's story than your own?
Definitely, and I think that just comes from my background too, of just working in journalism and telling other people's stories for so long, right? And kind of building up those skills. But yeah, I think I'm slowly getting comfortable with both, for sure.
Is there like a Jedi mind trick in the studio when you're writing? When you're stuck on like, oh, this is making me vulnerable and I need to, but this is a real important part I want to get out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like that's the fun part of writing and yeah, because there's definitely points where you get to, especially when you're doing co-writes, where it's just like, yeah, I can be really picky and be like, oh, I don't think I'd ever say that, or I don't think I'd ever. But that's the beautiful thing about working with other people, though, is they help you get out of your own way, and they kind of yeah, I could spend hours on just like one phrase or something where people are like, let's leave this and let's work on something else until you figure out what you're trying to say.
Can we talk about sonic inspiration for a moment? Because I heard that you were on a beach and heard some bells, and somehow that really helped a process.
Yeah, well, there was that was for Edge of the Earth in particular, and I think that was like one of the more hopeful songs on the record, where I came to a place where I was like, what? I'm on the right path. Like I'm on these tracks that are bringing me to a place I want to get to, and that was me walking around the city of Barletta in Italy. And originally I was like, ooh, we can call the song The Bells of Barletta, because I had recorded these bells, because like I was walking around the city, and like I don't get the chance when I think when people see the highlight clips on social media and stuff, it's like, wow, they're always everywhere and having so much fun, but really we just mostly see green rooms and then maybe a restaurant, and then we go to bed and go to the next city and play again. And so that morning I actually had a ton of time, so I just walked around the city, and like I never really had the chance to do that and kind of take it in, and just seeing little things of people just opening up their shops, people bringing their little fruit carts out, and people just going for walks. And yeah, I was just sitting on like this bench like across from this old castle, and there's like these broken bells like all out of tune, and I just started recording them. And yeah, so it's funny because like I can't really shut it off. I was like recording, like, ooh, I'll make a song out of this. Like it's.
I wouldn't have known they were out of tune. I would have been like, the bells, and you're like, these are not right.
These are like 3 cents off. Yeah, no, and yeah, so I remember like I have the recording somewhere in voice notes, and I remember I brought that to the session, and it never made the cut, but I think there's a lyric in Edge of the Earth, like the sound of these bells are kind of referenced in there.
It's interesting though how something, at least something can start the process. And Edge of the Earth, also the title track, right?
Yeah. No, definitely.
What is it about Edge of the Earth that represents the whole album for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts for me in the last few years. Like a lot of firsts, obviously, with some of the accomplishments and stuff, but a lot of firsts and challenges of in life, I guess, where I had to make kind of tough decisions. And so Edge of the Earth is, just coming to as metaphorically, I guess, of just coming to the edge of an unknown and wondering if I'm ready to kind of take that leap of faith. And I feel like I'm reiterating the trailer I made for the thing where it's like, I'm able to take that leap of faith. I can't say I was ready, but I can tell you how it felt, and it's in these songs. And it's true, though. Like, that is where all the songs were kind of written from, so.
How are you feeling now that they're out there? They're on the way to being somebody else's to digest while your process is kind of done and creative.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone too, because like, you know, it does take a village, and I was so, like, again, fortunate to work with so many friends on this record. So I'm like excited that they get to enjoy it, like, you know, like it being out. So it's like such a team thing. But yeah, I think sonically too, it's like probably the most kind of contemporary sounding record I've put out so far. And a good North Star on kind of showing that where the music's going, because I like to experiment. You know, at first I remember being like, oh, they put me in alternative. But I actually really love being an alternative music artist, because like it doesn't quite pigeonhole you as much, where I feel like I can like really experiment sonically. And like I think I got that obsession over the pandemic, because I used to just play with like a guitar and like a distortion pedal, and like that was it, you know, like. And when the pandemic happened, like I bought all these pedals, and like because I was like playing by myself, and I was like, it doesn't sound as full. And then I bought one, I bought two, and it like becomes like such a slippery slope where I'm just like, ooh, there's this pedal that makes like this, and like I don't know if I'll use it, or like this one has a silly name, I'm gonna buy it and see what it does. So like sounds and textures really, really inspire me as well.
What track would you say was your most experimental on this record?
Ooh,
I'm thinking about your pedal board.
You know, I had a really fun, like, even though like Without You was quite heavy in context. Like I remember we were in studio, me and Mark Kosher, and we were there really late, and like we're just like in there, like, because he has this incredible studio that he built in his basement, and like 16-foot ceilings or something. Like it's massive live room, and like we're just like banging on different things, getting different percussive sounds, and like trying like different miking setups. And I remember at one point, like it was late, I probably had like 14 cups of coffee, and it was just like having like he has this little like snack shelf
I
setup.
like him already.
And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I think I'm like eating Doritos. I'm like, ooh, just record this, and then maybe we can throw these things on it. And he's like, you're going too far, Aysanabee. Like I was like, sample me eating this.
So there are no Dorito samples to confirm.
No,
okay.
No.
But I do enjoy that there's a snack zone, and that there's the creative freedom in the percussive nature as well.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about all these producers too is they have such incredible creative spaces where you can kind of just go and really just have a lot of fun in the studio. Like I used to love performing a lot more than being in studio, but now it's like almost kind of like they're almost kind of at par where, and I think that's just the beauty of working in those sorts of spaces.
Also kind of finding your people makes such a big difference too, right?
Big time. Yeah.
And you've also found, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because like I've definitely like I go to, I've been in some writing camps, which is like quite an interesting concept. Like, but I think it's more like a speed dating thing. Like I think rarely do songs ever get cut from writing camps. It's more like you get to meet all these different producers, and you get to meet all these different artists, and then like you guys kind of collaborate down the road and learn from each other, and maybe make art down the road. But then, sometimes just like a recommendation, you're like, oh, you're in this city, like you should work with this artist. And like, I definitely was working like in Europe, and I remember like working with like just this sweetheart of a human. And I remember we were working, and then at one point, I did feel like I was making like Eurovision music, which
Was it fun?
It was a fun process, and
Yeah.
honestly, but at the time, it just didn't quite make sense as a follow-up.
Fair.
I was like,
fair.
okay, I'm putting this in the vault, and then maybe one day it'll come out. I think a lot of artists have so many songs that they're like, this was fun to make, but this may never see the light of day.
Interesting. Well, we'll focus on the record at hand, which again, Edge of the Earth is out, and maybe there's a Eurovision jam representing Canada down the line. That would be actually kind of fun.
Aren't they talking about that?
I feel as though Canada might make the cut for Eurovision. I thought, wasn't that part of the discussion?
Something. Yeah,
Even though we're not Europe by any stretch. But can we talk really quickly? I know that you've got, again, a lot of festival dates. You're opening up for Blue Rodeo here. That's the next time you're in Toronto, which will be fun. What song, and again, you played a few yesterday, but what song are you really connecting to live?
Yeah, I've really been loving playing home live a lot. I think, it's probably the least melancholic song on the record, so enjoy it while it lasts. But yeah, it was such a fun process making that song with Lala Noel, kind of a long time friend and co-writer, and yeah, because it's just like an anthem to shedding an old self, an anthem to moving on in a good way, and it's just such a groove to it too. Like I always love working with Lala and Scott, because that's you can kind of hear a little bit of the similarities, because they also produced Letting Go off of the last record.
Yeah.
So Letting Go and Home kind of have like a little bit of a similar flavor, but I've really been enjoying that one, because we just, I don't know, we have a lot of fun playing that one on stage, and we do kind of just let go up there and enjoy just being up there creating and jamming.
Well, we can't wait to see you live again soon. Congrats on the record as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thanks for coming back. I mean, I know last time we were really trying to dig and get more scoop on the record. You were like,
I know you put me in the hot seat. I was just like literally sweating.
Your label looking at you, being like, don't say anything.
You cut back to like a really sweaty part of me, being like, but yeah, no, always happy to be here.
Yes, well, thanks again for coming by, and congrats on the records.
Thank you.
And enjoy tour. We're excited to see you in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, me too.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thank you.